The Nicoll highway collapse 10 years ago was described as, quote, a wake-up call for the construction industry. Since then, new rules have been introduced to tighten processes. In part 3 of our special series, Melda Saad tells us how the industry has evolved.
These skyscrapers at the Marina Bay Financial Centre and the Marina Coastal Expressway are examples of structures that had to meet stricter construction rules implemented after the Nicoll highway collapse. The incident claimed 4 lives when the steel struts supporting excavation works for the MRT Circle Line gave way. The cause was put down to inadequate temporary works as well as design and construction flaws.
This incident has brought up the need to actually regulate temporary works as rigorously as permanent works. Because some of these temporary works, especially those for deep excavation works, actually last quite long.
The cave-in also affected surrounding buildings. So in 2007, Parliament passed amendments to the Building Control Bill. Among the changes, major underground building works which involve temporary earth-retaining structures will need to be designed by a professional engineer and reviewed by an accredited checker. Works going deeper than 6 meters must also be designed and checked by a professional engineer and an accredited checker who are specialists in geotechnical engineering. Geotechnical specialists are also required for tunnels greater than 2 meters in diameter, underground structures deeper than 6 meters, and complex foundations of buildings more than 30 stories high. There have been changes too at the industry level. When it comes to a building, for example, it's the developer's responsibility to hire a subcontractor to measure ground movement or the tilting of buildings.
So the result will go to client directly. Client will engage their own specialists, could it be geotechnical specialists, to look at this data. So if there's any rectification work or any safety precaution work have to be done, probably that will be done more timely and before any further deterioration will take place.
While the changes have certainly put added pressure on an industry grappling with high costs, those in the sector say they were much needed improvements.
Our workforce are more conscious about safety. We always plan ahead before we start our works. As compared in the past, we always start to work. When things happen, we start to think of ways to solve problems. But of course, we have to continue doing it because as long as there's work, there is risk. And it is important to understand the risk.
As Singapore continues to build underground, especially in a densely built environment, it is very important to ensure that excavation works are carried out safely.
Now, the accident happened in the area you see just behind me, and it delayed the construction of the Circle Line. Now, Nicoll Highway was closed for 8 months, and eventually the site of the current Nicoll Highway station was shifted about 100 meters away from the accident site. Now, the station was opened in April 2010.
In tomorrow's final